Okay, so let's talk mega skills. A little background, there were a lot of revolutions going on in the 50s and the 60s, you know, music and politics and all of that. But there also was some education revolution going on. Why Johnny Can't Read and What You Can Do About It came out in 1955. You might have heard of that. The big emphasis there was a return to phonics from the look-say method of learning to read, you know, Dick and Jane and that's what I grew up on. The Cat in the Hat came out in 1957, and I think we all know a little bit about that. The challenge there to use a limited number of limited vocabulary to make an interesting book for children. And then in 1968 came Mr. Rogers. 1969 Sesame Street came on the scene. I remember my mom around then used to clip out some kind of a strip from the Sunday paper that was for parents to help their kids with phonics for my little brother, and he would have been in kindergarten in the late 60s there. And so these things marked a homeschool connection that hadn't been there before. And then in the middle of that came Dorothy Rich. She had been teaching high school English, and she was disappointed with the way that the children came to the class. Not the academics so much, but just what she called the engines of learning, their inner engines of learning. She said they just didn't seem turned on to wanting to learn and discuss and things like that. So she asked around, she asked other teachers, what do you think's going on? And they said, oh, well, you know, that's how they come to us from the junior high. You know, so she asked some junior high teachers and they said, oh, well, that's how they come to us from elementary school. Okay. She asked the elementary school teachers and they said, that's how they come straight out of kindergarten. Okay, and you know what the kindergartners said? That's how they come straight from the home. And Dorothy said, so that got her thinking about what she could do with children in the home and parents to help them with the school connection. So in 1965, she created a class called Success for Children Begins at Home, and she used what she called home learning recipes to help parents understand how to use common household materials and activities to teach their children the skills and attitudes to stoke those inner engines of learning, she said, the things that they would need to thrive in school. And she said, I'm not ashamed about talking about what you can do with a rug and a chair and a lamp, and that is near to my heart. And if you ever built one of those giant ears using a play tunnel and a tambourine and things like that, you know what I'm talking about. Then fast forward to 1988, Mega Skills came out, and it really launched a nationwide program that was in 4,000 schools. And even some employers adopted this to work with their employees on some of these skills, just private companies. She worked with the U.S. Department of Education. She also worked with the NEA. This is a copy of the book, and this one I bought used, and it says it was compliments of the NEA education and outreach programs. So whatever you think of the NEA, they did back that. And it was a good vehicle for her to get, to get her study and her ideas out. So her book opened school just a crack to engage parents in helping their children learn, and now leap forward, here we are now. Schools are wide open and parents are being thrown in. So home and school are kind of one now for many people. Some have chosen their curriculum and know what they're doing. Some are using what has been provided to them. Some might be in it for the whole year long. Somebody might be thinking that this is a stopgap until things change in the schools. Some might not actually be teaching at all, more or less monitoring what your kids are doing with online courses and maybe fielding questions here and there.